Running any successful business is all about being on top of your numbers because your goal is to make as much money as possible whilst also staying out of trouble from that dreaded tax man. Now today, I'm going to take all of the stress out of your lives by showing you actually how easy it is to keep on top of your Amazon company's income and expenses and anything to do with its finances from day one. Because if there's one thing that you just don't want to do, it's to fall behind on your Amazon accounting and your bookkeeping. Doing that is going to mean that you'll lose track of your profits and ultimately you're going to pay way more to the tax man than you actually need to. So in this video, I'm going to be running through the different accounting tools and processes that we recommend that you follow if you're an Amazon seller. And if you do that, it will mean that you can keep your finances all in order and make your accountants' lives as easy as possible. Now, although I myself actually used to be an accountant, and that's not something I quite like to admit that often, I'm not here to offer you financial advice today, but what I am here to do is just share with you some damn good insights that have honestly saved me thousands in taxes as well as accounting fees all over the years. And I'm also going to point you to some free resources that we normally only share with our Honest FBA community, which is a community where you can learn about how to sell on Amazon FBA and build your own brand. Cheeky little link in the description below. When you start any business, you need to make sure that you're recording every single expense that you incur from day one. Also known to us accounting nerds as bookkeeping. Yep, that's all bookkeeping actually is. It's just recording and categorizing all of your financial transactions. Simples. Recording all of your business expenses from day one, that is going to help you massively when the time comes at the end of each year where you need to pass on all of your financial information to your accountant so that they can properly figure out how much profit you made and how much you owe in taxes. And here is a little thing that a lot of people don't actually think about. Recording all of your expenses in a nice squeaky clean spreadsheet, that's actually going to help you to reduce your accountancy bill because you're saving them the job of doing it themselves. And in this video, I'm also going to show you how you can do that bit for free. But first, whether you're going to be doing your own bookkeeping or not, you still need to make sure that you've got a killer accountant on standby, and it needs to be one that actually understands how e-commerce and how Amazon FBA works. Because even though you can find an accountant on pretty much any street corner, if they don't understand e-commerce in general, well, you're in for a bumpy ride. But do not worry, if you don't have an accountant yet, or you're not thrilled with your current one, check out Awesome, who are fully online accountants that actually specialize in working with businesses that sell on Amazon already. And they also work with other businesses that deal with Shopify, eBay, and so on. So if you're looking to expand those channels in the future, Awesome's a great fit. Okay, so assuming that you've got your accountant sorted, their number on speed dial, let's come back to the topic of tracking your expenses and how you can actually do it for free, which you're going to need to do whether you work with an accountant like Awesome or not. So the most basic way to track expenses is to use a good old-fashioned spreadsheet. And the easiest way to do that is by grabbing our free Honest FBA expense tracker that you can download in the description box below. Now, regardless if you use our free tracker or your own one, let me walk you through the actual basics of what you should be recording in those trackers at the very least. So for every expense, you want to be adding the date, the payee, the description, the amount, and some kind of a classification, most of which we've added in our tracker sheet already. So download it. It's the easiest route forward, right? Every single time that you get an invoice or a receipt, you need to fill this sheet out. And then what you need to do is upload your invoice to a dedicated Google Drive or Dropbox folder, or if it's a paper receipt, just take a picture on your phone and then share it to that same drive. That way you've got everything in one place if your accountant ever asks for it, or if you get a dreaded tax inspection. Because no matter how much you tell the IRS or HMRC that you promise that you had a really big business expense that you needed to claim on, without a receipt, you might find that they politely tell you to off. Okay, so we've now covered what you need to do about money being spent, so your expenses. But what about when you start selling? What do you do about recording your income? Now, one way to do this is the manual way, and you do that by logging into Amazon Seller Central if you're an Amazon seller and downloading a transaction report. That is a bit of a pain in the arse to do, but I'm going to show you how to do it step by step in just a minute, just in case you can be bothered. But let's be honest here, if you're running an Amazon business that already sells lots and lots of products and you're making a load of cash, which I hope you're either doing or you will be very soon, then your time is much better spent using a more advanced tool that can do all of your recording for you. And probably the best in the business for this type of thing is Xero, which is an accountancy software solution for small and medium-sized businesses. Now, what is so cool, if you can use that word, about Xero is that it hooks up to all of your bank accounts as well as your credit cards, and it automatically records every single expense that you make, as well as any revenue. Now, at first, you'll need to classify some of these transactions manually, but once you do that, it will start learning and it will do it on your behalf. So, for example, in the first few days of using it, you might have a charge on Alibaba for stock, and you might have another charge from Helium 10 for software. So you need to log on and allocate those charges to stock and software. But very quickly, Xero is going to remember that and it'll start doing it entirely automatically for you. So you can just sit back, enjoy making more sales and more profit, and not have to worry about the bookkeeping side of your business. Now, to save you that extra piece of research, let me just put this bluntly. Using Xero is a complete no-brainer, with a tiny exception that I'm going to mention in just a sec. It's going to help you with calculating things like your revenues, your profits, and most importantly, your taxes, which are things that you're going to need to be doing anyway. So you might as well get a professional solution that can do it very quickly. Now, best of all, Xero is pretty inexpensive. It's around $15 a month, and sometimes even less if you get it on a deal. And the even better news is that if you're working with Awesome, they actually include it in their software price entirely for free. Even if you don't plan to use Awesome, it's still worth checking with your current accountant if they bundle Xero in by default. A lot of them do these days just because it's such a popular option that saves everybody a load of headaches. If they don't include it though, I've included a link in the description box where you can easily sign up. And I've also included another link to a different no-brainer app that integrates with Xero, and that is called Link My Books. Now, the one issue with Xero is that it only has direct access to the money going in and going out of your bank account and your credit cards. Now, when it comes to Amazon, all Xero is going to see is the lump sum of cash that is deposited into your account every 2 weeks. And that is going to be missing a ton of important information, like what Amazon fees you've been paying or what product refunds you've had. And those type of things, they really matter because that's going to impact your level of profitability and the amount of taxes that you're going to end up owing the taxman. And that is where Link My Books comes in. So Link My Books is an app that links between your Amazon seller account and your bank account and your Xero account. And what it does is it sifts through all of your Amazon transaction details and it categorizes everything correctly. So that's things like fees, refunds, revenues, reimbursements, and so on. Now, Link My Books, in my view, is well worth the cost, which is just $17 a month, or even less if you use our discount link. And that is especially so when its main competitor, they actually charge closer to around $100 every single month. And like with Xero, a lot of accountancy firms do actually include Link My Books in their service. That includes Awesome. So before signing up for it, if you do have an accountant, just check with them and see if it's already included. Now, in case you're a bit of a proud tight arse, or you're simply a masochist that enjoys putting yourself through a load of unnecessary stress, let me show you how to find Amazon's transaction breakdowns the manual way. So all you do is log into your Seller Central account, and then from there, go to Reports and Reports Repository. From there, you can request a report for the time frame that you're after. What will then happen is you'll download a fatty Bombati report that contains every single Amazon transaction and every single Amazon fee that you've ever had during that period. And what you're going to need to do then is sift through it, put it in your expense tracker, and categorize all of the different fees, income, and other expenses. Seriously though, if you value your time and you're selling a decent amount on Amazon, I would honestly just say, just do it the automatic way. Your stress levels will seriously thank you. Now, all of the tools that I've recommended so far are awesome, and I highly encourage you to get them as soon as this video has finished. But they do have one limitation. So tools like Xero and Link My Books, they help keep your finances in order, and they're essential when it comes to your end of year accounts and filing that tax return. But what they don't do is provide you a level of granularity into your sales and your profits with your Amazon business on a daily basis. So for that, I use a tool that is specifically designed for Amazon FBA sellers, and it's called Shopkeeper. So Shopkeeper syncs directly with your Amazon seller account, and it gives you a detailed daily look at your sales, your profits, your inventory levels, PPC costs, and so much more. There's also a decent little phone app that you can get, and it makes a really nice little ka-ching sound every time you make a sale and bank some profit. Perfect if you are a dopamine junkie, just like me. No other tool out there that I've used anyway is as accurate as Shopkeeper is when it comes to calculating profit. And if you're thinking, well, surely Amazon will give you that information, there's not a chance in hell that will make that an easy thing. So just make sure you get Shopkeeper. We've got a 30-day trial actually, entirely for free. Don't need to put your card details in or anything. Again, it's in the description box below. So I told you at the beginning that there'd be some free resources, some of which I've mentioned already, but in the description below, there is a whole treasure trove. We've got a downloadable Honest FBA expense tracker. We've got some calculators, we've got a checklist, and so much more. So follow the link below, go through the steps, and you can get all of that stuff entirely for free. So that's your first step. Your second step after watching this video is just make sure you're recording every single expense from day one, and then make sure that you share that information with your accountant at least once a month. Doing that is going to keep your accounting fees low, save you a load of stress, and just make sure that you have a much happier business life. So start by recording everything in our expense tracker, and then once your business starts to gain traction and the number of transactions increases, what I'd be doing is using Xero along with Link My Books and just getting everything done on an automatic basis. That way you're going to maximize your tax savings and basically keep the tax man off your back. So that's all you need to know. Those are the main tools that we use when it comes to accounting. If you've got any other questions, let us know in below. And if you want another video to watch that's super helpful, check out this one here. It's 40 minutes of live product research where you can learn from Alex how the professionals do it. See ya!